Alright, I wanted to just make this video as kind of like continuing to just document the journey here of building something great and building something bigger than myself. And I feel like I've just finally hit a point where I'm just not afraid anymore. Like, I'm not afraid of the day-to-day, the up and down of what this is, and I've kind of just accepted it. Like, I feel like I've gone through this crazy roller coaster of emotion over the last year. I mean, you know, for guys that I talk to regularly know that when I started, my agency, my business, I had just quit my job. I moved to Indonesia for 6 months to try to give myself a runway to start making money. I was making about $1,000 by the time I came back monthly, and it wasn't enough, obviously. So I moved down to South America and spent the rest of the year in an apartment by myself, cold calling, sending messages, trying to book appointments, trying to get clients, and start to build a business. And those have for sure been some of the hardest days of my life. It's like Alex Hormozy talks about, where you know that you will start to see some progress, but you haven't like shown it yet. There's no like actual signs of it yet. And that's what I was down there for 3 months, and that entire time it was just a mental battle every single day, me versus me. Getting up, not wanting to get up, forcing myself to take a cold shower, to get at the desk early, to start cold calling businesses, and just really start to do the thing and actually be the person that I said I was becoming. Because I think it's so common to just continue to talk about it, continue to talk about what you're gonna do, or where you're headed, or all the great things that you're gonna do, and just not do it. Right? Just sit there and continue to be the person that talks about it and doesn't actually go out and do it, right? And that's the transition. I feel like a big transition for me was when I finally just realized that this whole thing about building a business is not the fancy, YouTube videos or movies that I see. It's, me by myself at a desk, dead silent every day for 12, 14 hours. And then getting up and doing it again and again and again and again, and just repeating that day after day and not giving up, right? The entire time, even if you don't feel like you're making progress, even if maybe, I feel like I haven't made enough money yet for it to be real, and you have to hold on to that feeling that something's coming, right? That you're gonna do what you say you're gonna do. I remember when I hit my first 10K month, a couple months ago, I hit my first 10K month. It was a goal of mine to hit 10K in a year, and I did it in like 10 months. And it was like the greatest feeling to me, not because of the money, not because of just seeing that. And obviously now I know, I'm at about 20K a month, and it's just funny because I now realize how little that is in the grand scheme of things compared to what these other businesses are doing. But it's not like something that I look at and, it makes me jealous. It's just very motivating. It's very motivating to know, okay, I've seen progress with this. I can do it way better. And there are guys that are running circles around me. And I can change things, and I can do more volume, and I can book more meetings, and I can just do more and be better and create something bigger. But I remember when I hit that first milestone, it was like hitting Mount Everest for me, because every single day, through all the tears, through waking up every day and feeling the pain, I was the only one that was really with me. Like, I was the only one. Obviously you have the support of maybe your girlfriend or your parents, but it's you yourself every day, and nobody else. It's that voice inside your head that's constantly nagging on you about, well, maybe this won't work, maybe they're right, maybe you should just get a job, maybe you should do something else. And you just have to keep kicking it out of the way, not really knowing what's coming, right? And that's what happens now, right? The last basically 2 months I stopped sales to go travel abroad. I went to Indonesia and to Thailand with my girlfriend and my brother, and it was some of the best weeks of my life. And I kept making money while I was abroad. You know, naturally with this business I wasn't selling, so I had some churn, and then got back and, you know, back into the mental of, oh, maybe this isn't gonna, you know, maybe you're not gonna maintain this or whatever else, and then inevitably start booking meetings, start closing clients. And I just feel like I've gotten to a point where I'm no longer afraid. Like I understand that this is hard, right? This is what hard feels like, right? Like Alex Hormozy says. But I'm just gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna keep pushing, and I have committed. I remember at the very beginning of this, you know, people will say like, give it a go, see how it goes, give it a year, whatever else. And I remember literally saying to myself, like, I will die before I quit. I will literally die on the road of making this happen, of creating this business, because I know what's on the other side. And I had no idea what I was doing, no idea how to, you know, set up a business or set up my business, you know, account or my CRM or start reaching out to people. Every single one of these things has been learned banging my head against the wall every single day over the last year. And now there are so many bigger dragons to slay and things that I haven't figured out yet, right? For anybody that's watching this that's in the agency game, ads, scaling ads, you know, improving your close rate, your show up rate, and getting like into the details of everything. Your offer, what's, you know, are you upselling at the right rate? Are you, you know, what's your churn? All this other stuff. And these are all just more problems to solve. And so I understand that. Like that's the thing, is that I'm not saying it won't get harder, because I know that there are so many, you know, again, like what does it take to hit 50K a month? What does it take to hit 100K a month? 500K a month? There are so many bigger dragons to slay and mountains to climb, but I understand that now. I understand that it will be a process of committing every single day, solving that next problem, moving on, and then just continuing to repeat that over and over and over and over again. And I think the best thing that I've heard is that, you know, not trying to just find the joy along the way, right? Realizing that that feeling of hitting that goal, that revenue number, whatever it is going to feel so good for maybe a couple hours, a day, a couple days, and then it's just going to come right back around to what's the next mountain. So that's where I'm at with this. You know, just realizing this is hard. It's supposed to be hard. Solve the next problem, keep moving on, and everything is going to be okay, right? Everything will be okay, and you know, I'll die trying. So to anybody out there that sees this, that's, you know, running a business or starting a business and it feels tough, or, you know, you have that voice in your head or you struggle with what other people are saying, like, I'm right there with you guys. I know exactly what it feels like to have that, you know, to be struggling with that. So we're all gonna make it, guys. Keep moving forward.